Welcome, everyone. Today, we will explore a paradigm-shifting concept in semiconductor manufacturing titled the quantum avalanche, overcoming the reflectivity wall with mirrorless superfluorescence lithography. As we know, extreme ultraviolet, or EUV, lithography is currently constrained by the reflective projection optics it heavily depends on. To break through this terminal bottleneck, we propose a groundbreaking projection mirror-free exposure architecture. By utilizing a mechanism called triggered superfluorescence, which we refer to as the quantum avalanche, we can completely eliminate the need for multi-mirror projection trains. This innovative approach not only delivers the direct resist-level dose to the wafer, but also paves the way for the 3.1 nanometer soft X-ray wavelength and deep DOF three-dimensional patterning. Let's dive into the details of this mirrorless direct exposure technology.
Let's move to slide 2, where we address the most critical issue facing the industry today, the reflectivity wall. Current EUV lithography at 13.5 nanometers relies heavily on multi-mirror projection systems. However, even at theoretical limits, each mirror reflects only about 70% of the light. After bouncing through 6 mirrors, a mere 2% of the generated light actually reaches the wafer. This massive energy loss leads to several severe consequences: tool power consumption exceeding 1 megawatt, extreme thermal loads and carbon contamination on the photomasks, and the necessity to halve the exposure field to 26 by 16.5 millimeters in high-NA tools. But the real crisis lies ahead. To achieve the deep depth of focus required for advanced 3D nanostacks, the industry needs to jump to the 3.1 nanometer soft X-ray wavelength. Here, we hit the terminal bottleneck. At 3.1 nanometers, mirror reflectivity drops to a hard limit of around 35%. After just 5 reflections, transmission plummets to roughly 0.5%. It is a terminal loss of energy. In short, reflective projection optics discard over 95% of the generated light, strictly prohibiting the industry's transition to the 3.1 nanometer era. To overcome this terminal bottleneck, we must fundamentally rethink. Now, let's look at slide 3, where we introduce our solution to this problem, the Mask-in-Amplifier architecture. On the left, you can see the traditional, highly complex multi-mirror UV setup. On the right is our proposed architecture, which features 0 projection mirrors. It starts with an ultra-weak seed beam, such as from an HHG or FEL source, illuminating the photomask. Because this seed light is extremely weak, it completely eliminates the issues of mask heating and thermal distortion. Once the seed light passes through the mask, it immediately enters a population-inverted gain medium, like a neon-like or nickel-like ion plasma, placed just centimeters above the wafer. Here, the patterned seed light is coherently amplified by a factor of 100 million, or 10 to the 8th power. This enables proximity 1-to-1 printing. The full exposure field is transferred instantly at unit magnification, completely removing the need for complex anamorphic field stitching. In short, the actual exposure dose is generated just centimeters from the resist, delivering a direct exposure without a single projection mirror.
Moving on to slide 4, we explore the core physical mechanism that makes this mirrorless architecture possible: the quantum loophole, phase-locked cooperative emission. This process unfolds in 3 critical steps. First, step 1 is population inversion. We use a pump laser to excite the plasma medium into a highly charged, unstable state, storing a massive amount of energy. Step 2 is seed injection. The patterned soft X-ray seed photon enters this energized medium. Rather than just passing through, it acts as a precise phase-locked trigger. This leads to step 3, superfluorescence, which we refer to as the avalanche. Triggered by the seed, the atoms in the medium self-organize to form a macroscopic cooperative dipole, a phenomenon known as decay superradiance. They collectively release their stored energy, amplifying the seed's spatial mode by a staggering factor of 10 to the 8th power, corresponding to a gain length product of roughly 18.4. Ultimately, through this quantum loophole, the emitted burst is perfectly phase and direction locked to the patterned seed, rather than to random quantum noise, generating a highly coherent exposure dose.
Moving on to slide 5, we transition from the underlying physics to practical engineering. How do we contain and manage this extreme plasma environment directly above the wafer? Here we see the design of the medium cell. The casing is constructed from robust materials like molybdenum or silicon carbide, integrated with active cooling and cleaning mechanisms. To guarantee consistent amplification across exposures, we implement shot-to-shot medium renewal. A continuous gas purge ensures that every single field is exposed using a fresh, unheated gain medium. The most critical challenge is the exit window. It must be highly transparent to soft X-rays while withstanding the immensely powerful amplified burst and separating the plasma from the wafer environment. Our solution is an ultra-thin carbon nanotube, or CNT, window, backed by a silicon support grid. CNTs are uniquely suited for this, offering extreme transparency alongside structural integrity and heat resistance up to 1000 degrees Celsius. Finally, to protect this delicate window from hydrogen plasma etching and resist outgassing, we apply a sub-5 nanometer ruthenium capping layer. Through these engineering innovations, we can reliably confine and sustain the quantum avalanche.
Let's move to slide 6, which highlights the critical timing of the system: femtosecond synchronization and passive isolation. Because the triggered avalanche to succeed, the patterned seed light must arrive at the gain medium within a strict, ultra-short time window after the pump laser stores energy. Specifically, this delay, denoted as delta T, must be shorter than both the medium's natural dephasing time, T2, and the unseeded superfluorescent delay time, tau D. Practically, this requires femtosecond level synchronization. This extreme timing yields a massive secondary benefit: passive isolation. Because the triggered avalanche sweeps away the stored energy in mere picoseconds, any light reflecting back from the wafer returns to a depleted or dead medium. Since practical optical isolators do not exist for the EUV and soft X-ray bands, this inherent immunity to back reflection and parasitic re-amplification dramatically simplifies our proximity printing geometry.
Let's move to slide 7, which introduces our capability for dynamic distortion correction via SLM. As the industry advances towards massive panel-level packaging, handling substrate warpage and individual die shifts becomes a critical challenge. To solve this, our architecture integrates a real-time measurement unit that continuously detects these physical distortions on the panel substrate. This tracking data is fed into a control unit running an adaptive patterning algorithm, which dynamically updates a spatial light modulator, or SLM, such as a MEMS or GLV device. Here is the most crucial advantage of our system. We perform this spatial light modulation on the ultra-weak seed light before it is amplified. In a traditional high-power EUV setup, exposing an SLM to the full exposure dose would result in instant thermal destruction. However, by modulating only the weak seed light, the SLM is completely protected from any thermal damage. Once the pattern is dynamically formed, this weak pattern seed is sent into the medium cell, where it is coherently amplified by the quantum avalanche to expose the substrate. The key takeaway is that this mechanism finally enables true, real-time adaptive patterning for massive panel-level packaging, safely and efficiently.
Now let's move to slide 8. Unleashing the 3.1 nanometer era, the 3D nanostack. As the industry pushes for higher numerical apertures, such as Hyper-NA at 0.75, we encounter a fundamental physical dilemma. The depth of focus shrinks drastically to just a few tens of nanometers. This shallow depth of focus is fundamentally at odds with the industry's shift toward vertically stacked 3D device architectures, which require exposing thick resist layers. However, by jumping to the 3.1 nanometer soft X-ray wavelength using our mirrorless architecture, we can completely change the equation. Because we gain resolution from the extremely short wavelength itself, we can deliberately keep the numerical aperture low, around 0.1 to 0.2. At a low NA of 0.15, the depth of focus extends to hundreds of nanometers. As you can see on the right, this allows a single exposure shot to perfectly pierce deep multi-layer resist stacks, creating a completely vertical latent image. By eliminating the need for complex layer-by-layer overlay, this approach directly addresses the DOF collapse and truly unleashes the era of 3D nanostack construction. Now, let's move to slide 9, which focuses on a unique and powerful phenomenon of our system, spatial gain narrowing, and the creation of the optical needle. As you can see in the diagram, the input seed profile coming from the mask might be somewhat soft or blurred due to the mask's original diffraction limits. However, superfluorescent amplification is a nonlinear process with a strict threshold where peak intensity scales with the square of the number of cooperating emitters. What this means in practice is that only the highest intensity core of the seed pattern triggers this massive exponential amplification. The dimmer skirts of the light profile are effectively left behind and depleted. As a result, the amplified beam is physically sharpened far beyond the mask's original resolution, exiting the amplifier as a few nanometer diameter optical needle. This mechanism allows us to undercut the physical dimensions of the mask itself, enabling the creation of ultra-high aspect ratio vias and trenches with unprecedented precision. Moving on to slide 10, we address another major challenge in modern EUV lithography, defeating stochastics through a concept we call frozen chemistry, or LER. However, superfluorescence introduces a completely different physical regime. According to the physics of cooperative emission, the stored energy is compressed into an ultra-short pulse. Crucially, the pulse width scales inversely with the number of cooperating emitters, denoted as 1 over n. At high inversion densities, this pushes the pulse into the femtosecond to attosecond regime. The effect of this attosecond flash freeze is profound. The delivery of the full exposure dose massively outpaces the thermal vibration and diffusion timescales of the resist. In essence, the photochemistry is driven to completion instantly. By effectively freezing the chemical reaction before any reaction-diffusion blur can develop, this mechanism simultaneously attacks both noise channels, eliminating stochastic printing failures and line-edge roughness. Let's move to slide 11, where we discuss a practical, incremental insertion path, the bridge, a 13.5 nanometer hybrid retrofit. You might be wondering if fabs need to abandon their existing EUV infrastructure to adopt this technology. The answer is no. This architecture can be seamlessly implemented as a hybrid retrofit for current 13.5 nanometer systems. In this configuration, we reuse the existing LPP tin source, simply dimming it to act as our ultra-weak seed light. This seed illuminates a standard reflective EUV mask at the usual 6-degree chief ray angle. The pattern seed light then enters a superfluorescent cell, this time using a xenon or tin plasma medium tailored for 13.5 nanometer gain. We simply tilt the cell to match the 6-degree reflected beam axis. The key takeaway here is what we remove. The massive, lossy multi-mirror projection box is completely eliminated. Fabs do not have to wait for 3.1 nanometer sources to mature. By adopting this hybrid bridge, the industry can reuse its massive investments in current LPP sources and mask ecosystems, while immediately eliminating the 1 megawatt projection optic losses today. Now, let's turn to slide 12, which summarizes this technological leap. The paradigm shift, breaking the limits of Moore's law. When we compare traditional ASML multi-mirror EUV systems with our superfluorescence lithography, the contrast is stark. Traditional optical trains rely on 6 to 10 lossy mirrors, requiring a brute force power budget of around 1 megawatt. In contrast, our architecture features 0 projection mirrors, utilizing highly efficient localized plasma pumping instead. Furthermore, conventional systems subject the photomask to extreme thermal loads, causing severe distortion. By using only a weak seed light, our mask thermal load is reduced to near 0. We also completely eliminate the need to halve the field size and perform. Finally, let's look at slide 13, which outlines our path forward, experimental milestones to commercial validation. While the underlying physics of cooperative emission are well established in the literature, we have identified 3 key experimental steps to transition this mirrorless architecture into a commercial tool. Step 1 is tabletop gain verification. Before full tool integration, we must experimentally validate a gain length product of approximately 20, demonstrating uniform amplification across flat neon-like or nickel-like plasma cells. Step 2 involves proximity gap metrology. We need to implement in situ wavefront sensors, such as cross-grading lateral shearing interferometers, or CGLSI. This will allow us to manage near-field diffraction and correct Petzval curvature, potentially by utilizing pre-bent masks. Step 3 focuses on attosecond resist dynamics. We must confirm how current photoresists behave under the ultra-high-intensity, temporally compressed pulses of superfluorescence. It is crucial to verify the frozen chemistry benefit while ensuring we do not trigger unwanted ablation channels. In conclusion, the fundamental physics are established, the patented Mask-in-Amplifier architecture is secure, and most importantly, the reflectivity wall that has blocked the industry's progress has finally fallen. Thank you very much for your attention.